Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here with MJS Coaching Football. My background is my 38th year coaching football. I've either been a defensive, offensive, or special teams coordinator, as well as a head coach at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to continue to talk about our short yardage goal line red zone front variation that we call Bulldog. Okay, in this particular instance versus 22 personnel, so two running backs, two tight ends. This is definitely a grouping that we see a lot, especially down around the 5 yard and closer to our goal line, short yardage. I mean, there are 8 gaps to defend, 4 on each side. It's balanced. So that's why we add even before the Liz. Not that it impacts how we line up, okay, except for the fact that when it's even, what it tells the rover Mike and backer is to go left. Okay, so that it does affect us to a degree. Okay, so even Liz, they hear Liz, even and Liz, rover Mike and backer, boom, go left. Okay, field, free, go left. Okay, whip boundary, dime, go right. Defensive line, here's a rover left, they bump right. Okay, so it helps us out a lot by adding even in front of the Liz. Okay, in this case, Liz. All right. So please remember, in previous presentations on Bulldog, these are 4 defensive linemen. I do not change any of the names of the defenders. Keep it simple. The Rovers are defensive linemen, so we have 4 defensive linemen versus 22. This can vary. Mike Backer and Dime are all inside linebackers. The free and the whip most likely will be outside linebacker types, depending on the situation, or they could even be inside linebackers. I mean, it depends on what you got for personnel. Okay, so this can vary a lot. The likelihood also is you only have 2 defensive backs in the game, 2 corners. And here, if they mac across, you want to make sure it's a corner. So that's why you got to have 2 corners, most likely, unless you can be pretty doggone sure that they're not going to motion. They want to run the football. Now, this would be a bigger safety type of kid. Okay. So that's the personnel aspect of it. What I want to go over is, as usual with our Bulldog, how do we cover running backs? Okay. How do we do that? So we make what's called Heisman, and that tells our backer specifically. Heisman is a call tied specifically to the backer, specifically to this personnel grouping. So the backer now understands that he has the running back in the route, whether it's split or full flow. So full flow, let's say full flow now is away from the 2 receiver side. Well, that's where the boundary comes in. He's 2 by 2, which puts him on the heels of the whip in this case, and he takes the first running back, and the backer takes the second running back. Okay? I'll get to the other side in a second because that factors in with the bracket on number 2. Okay? So Heisman is, again, specific to the backer. So I'm going to talk about the boundary first. The boundary doesn't have a receiver in 22 personnel, okay, because Whip and Dime are bracketing the tight end. What the receiver does have is first running back to his side. Okay, so in a split flow, there'd be 1 running back, the boundary takes him, and the highest backer takes the other running back. That's how we handle the split flow. Okay, again, I'll talk about full flow to the 2 receivers momentarily. The key here is, okay, if for whatever reason it's full flow or the running back's just fitting in protection, it's play action, okay, so there is no running back, finding work means just that. Okay, the boundary corner. Now we'll tell them what work to be looking for, whether it's a crossing tight end from the other side, whether it's a delay, whether it's a route out here that they could use a little extra help on. We'll tell them what to look for when we say find the work. Okay, but especially versus say split full, like inside zone. So then they're going to shoot out over here, or more specifically, to really set it up, full flow action. Quarterback hides the ball, and then it's a boot over here. The boundary's got the boot on the quarterback on that boot. All right, because he's available. He doesn't have anything else to do. Okay, not minimizing the important. In fact, it's extra important since he doesn't have an assigned receiver and he's not part of a bracket. He is going to take quarterback on the boot. Okay, now if it's a split flow boot, nope, he's taking the first running back. Okay, so he's not going to be able to get it. But we do have a 5 technique, and that 5 technique is also going to play the boot. Okay, so that answers that question. So now working my way in, the bracket, the number 1 tight end here, it's the dime and the whip. So if the tight end goes outside, the whip takes him. I mean, pretty simple. If he goes inside or vertical, the dime takes him. So he's got whips always getting hands on, and so when he goes inside, he's going to deliver it, and he's going to stay with it because he's not sure if he's going to bend out. So it ends up being an outside-inside bracket versus a tight end vertical. If the tight end then runs across inside, the dime will stay with him, and the whip will bounce up and look for work. Okay, but normally these are not long developing pass plays. It's a short yardage goal line, so it's a play action look, trying to get everybody to bite up. Okay, so the whip, that's what he's got to play, so he'll stay with it. That's his read. The dime still has to read in here for not just run pass, but also is he play side, backside, and so forth. So the whip will hang with him longer for that reason. He's just not going to chase all the way across the field. Okay, now that being said, because he's going to stay engaged, and let's just say that the dime gets caught up because he either misread it, just aggressive, what have you. If he runs across and the whip can see that the dime isn't where he's supposed to be, then the whip will stay with him for that reason. So it's a little bit of a built-in safety net that also allows our dime to be a little bit more aggressive, which you really want. You want to have to pull them back, right? I mean, we're not talking blitzing, but this is this is it, baby, right? I mean, they need an inch, they need a yard. It could be the ball game if they score here. Could be the ball game if they get a first down, and then they don't have to punt and give our offense a shot. All right. So that's the built-in safety there, and that's really all we're asking the whip to do in the pass, but it's significant. Okay, and then if it's run and there's blocking there, be hard on that edge. Don't allow it to widen, and it still orbits, so the dime's still got technically force, not the boundary, because let's say it's a toss, and if the boundary comes flying up and the fullback leaks behind him, it could be a toss pass from the halfback. So the boundary has to be, passive for that reason. Okay, and we'll let the whip be aggressive and the dime pull up any type of a toss. All right. So then on the other side, the bracket is between the free and the mic on the tight end. Same scenario. Okay, free safety outside. If he goes inside, okay, a vertical, he's going to help out with the running back over here, because now I'm going to talk about the full flow. Full flow this way, okay, assuming that the free safety's inside or vertical on full flow, which he's likely to be. It's not probably going to be tight end out and full flow with another guy out there. Okay, he'd have to get vertical first to run a little bit of a deeper route or a corner, which is likely. So in that case, when the tight end's inside or vertical, he'll help out full flow by taking first back, and the Heisman or the back here takes second back. Okay, so essentially in Heisman, he's got second back, whether it's away from the pass strength or whether it's to it. Split flow, he obviously takes the one that's going to the pass strength, in this case to him on his side, because he's in the A gap to the lizard rip. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Again, this corner, that's his world. The only thing that exists is this wide receiver and nothing else. Okay, so that's how we utilize Bulldog versus 22 personnel, the even ad. tells the rover Mike and backer to line up to the lizard rip. That's the alert. There's no left or right call because it's even. And then these guys go away. The boundary is purposely not given any responsibility other than first back two and it's full flow, quarterback on boot. Okay, because then you don't have to worry about being passive. And then on a toss or any action like that, he also is still going to be thinking pass first because it is orbit support. So he'll pull it up. You've got a dime and five. You've got the whip. If they're all coming this way, they'll work hard to get up to the sweep. Okay, and then obviously as the ball's coming downhill and this guy's already left his feet because he's trying to cut block somebody, at that point the boundary can be a football player and come up and try and get involved in the sweep. All right. When the fullback commits and he's already dived and he's on the ground, well, now he can be a football player and come up. Okay. So as always, please, if you have any questions, please reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan@gmail.com, and I'd love to talk football with you.